Hey, everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live with Tony Comperchio. Tony, I'm looking forward to talking with you. You're the CEO, chairman, and founder at Professional Golf Planners of America. So someone may be saying, well, John, it's November 16th. What's going on with golf? But that's exactly why you're on the show now, because I know that to plan a golf outing has to be done way in advance. And you're a certified golf tournament consultant. And so I just think your whole profession is so interesting, basically, because I think a lot of times companies, when they're looking to do any type of golf outing, golf tournament, they kind of pick the person in the room who's doing the least, and then they assign that person. When really to do it right, in a world where I think, and what I see as a business coach and just in companies in general, in a world where everything really needs to be an experience. If you're going to do it right. So I'm happy to talk to you about just, what you do. So to start, what is a certified golf tournament consultant?
So long-winded answer, it's part of a professional group, the GTAA. It's a national organization. It's a special accreditation with that organization that basically says we're trained. We know how to be efficient at what we do. We know how to provide our clients with a wide range of services. Because one of the things that I think most clients, potential clients, don't realize is every golf outing is unique and different. At least that's the way we designed our business model.
Well, every golf outing is and should be, I would say, unique and different. Because today, if you're going to spend the time, have clients come, how do you create the ultimate experience for any golf outing, whether it be a major tournament for a nonprofit and or for a company?
So we've had clients that have had live entertainment, whether that's a speed painter, a DJ, or maybe a pre-dinner kind of hors d'oeuvre drink festivity, kind of sets the tone for the event. So it's really, the client drives the uniqueness to the event. And obviously how we build out our events, it's an event net revenue goal. So say, for example, if a nonprofit comes to us and says, hey, we're interested in holding a golf outing, tell me a little bit more about it. To your point that you had referenced a couple of minutes ago, it takes 4 to 6 months to pull off a successful golf outing, at least the way that we do it. Yeah. And the biggest challenge is finding a golf course available in the geographic, that specific client or nonprofit. So as a point of reference, if you have a nonprofit that's located in Troy, Michigan, you wouldn't want to have an outing in Ann Arbor. It just, logistically, there's too many challenges.
And so, what makes, I just want to go into this a little bit more. So take me from invite to entrance to the outing to the post outing. Like, what is the continuum for not only the, we'll get to the planning, but really the experience? I want to kind of tap into that because, as a consultant who's kind of advising clients, how are you advising on the full spectrum of every angle of what you do? Because I think, especially as we sit right here in November 16th, 2020, I would imagine that people, golf and tennis are two things that we know will probably have a high probability of being able to do next summer, right? Hopefully the world will open up with vaccines and things of that nature. But those are outdoor events that I would think would be filling up quickly. And so to create the ultimate experience, what is it from A to Z?
So obviously booking the golf course starts the process, right? Understanding what your targeted audience is another follow-up. What your price points are going to be. What kind of entertainment are you looking to have? All of those variables come into it. Now, we also leverage, as being professionals in the industry, we pride ourselves on reducing our clients' time by as much as 70%. Well, how do we do that? We have a database of roughly 15,000 folks that we tap into from sponsorship opportunities and golfer opportunities. So we actually help our clients with promoting their events through our own networking opportunities. In addition, we have national supplier partners that we do pass-through pricing. So say, for example, golfer gift bags. This year, we had to do some unique things with face masks and individual hand sanitizers, social distancing markers for COVID. So those are the things that we brought to the table for our clients. We created our PGPA COVID value statement, which is deployed throughout the golf course. So those are the kinds of things that we've introduced.
And talk to me, let's talk about nonprofits a little bit, because nonprofits are trying to figure out every way right now to make money. They've been hit very hard with COVID. Golf outings, I think, are a great way to actually do that. How are charities and just any nonprofit organization? How are they looking at golf outings right now?
Well, I can tell you at the beginning of the year, 60% of our clients rescheduled for 2021, right? A lot had to do with the uncertainty of the virus and what that looked like. As we navigated our way through the year, we had some clients that wanted to persevere and push through and have the outing. So has had an impact, reevaluating the feasibility of it. Participation is way down as well as you can imagine, right? Even with all those safety protocols that we've put in place, we still had a reduction.
Yeah. So let's just rewind a little bit about you because, I love to golf, but I never really even heard of a professional golf planner or a certified golf tournament consultant, who plans these big golfing events. And so how does somebody like that, especially right now, I think, kids are graduating from college in a world that is totally different than they thought. There's more entrepreneurs popping up all over the place. How does someone decide to get into this field and become, a certified golf tournament consultant? Just let's start there.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. For me personally, it was kind of by pure coincidence. I had worked in corporate America for a client that was very keen in raising money and awareness for a local charity. And one of the ways they wanted to do that was golf. And at the time, I was an avid golfer. I don't play much golf anymore. As you can imagine, we keep ourselves pretty busy with, planning all of this stuff. So by that pure passion for it, kind of led me down the path of, hey, look at the enjoyment that the nonprofits, in this particular case, it was for children, seeing the results of the fundraising activities. The day of the event is a lot of fun. You very rarely see somebody out there not having a good time. So all of that played contributing factor.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And then let me ask you a question. So, and I want to dive into a little bit about the benefits, because I think when you talked about saving clients 70% of time, that made my ears really pop up, because all we have is our time, right? And every day we get we get a new 24 hours, and we have to choose how we spend that time. And as a business coach, I work a lot with clients on really time management, and I do a lot of time management keynotes actually. And people seem to really struggle with time. And I'm always a big fan of, getting clients to stick in their unique ability, their leading activities, what they need to do to grow the business. A lot of times they get lost or assign things for people to do things that really are not in the best interest of the company, because it takes away from company time and things that they really should be doing. So I just want to kind of dive into this, how many, I know this takes a lot of time, but how many hours, and people time are you saving them by coming in and taking ownership of something like this?
Well, you did a great job describing it, because that's exactly what we tell our clients. Quite candidly, it's true. I mean, you hire people to do a specific task, proverbial in their wheelhouse. They bring us in and say, okay, we can augment that, not only in addition to the CRM database that we bring to the table, is our uniqueness in terms of, because that's something that's totally unique to PGPA, how we transform the golf course the day of the event. That creates that special ambiance. But you also have that opportunity where they can focus on what they do. They hire a subcontractor. You issue us a 1099 at the end of the year, so there's some tax benefits there.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, but and I just think it's so important to hire the right people and invest in certain things so you can grow your business. And so when it comes to mentorship and hiring people, who have been some of your key mentors to help you grow your business through the years?
Well, so as I had referenced, being a member of the GTA, the president of that association, I meet with him many times over the past 4 years. I'm not sure if we've talked about this, but we've been in business. This was our 4th year. So having somebody that's been putting on outings for 30 years has helped. We do monthly consultant calls with other people throughout the country. So we get an opportunity to talk about what's working for us in our geographic locations and some new initiatives. Quite honestly, I'd launched several new initiatives this year at PGPA that is really hoping to turn the company from a seasonal business to a year-round opportunity.
That's great. And so how do you do that? So what's entailed with doing that?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And was that something that was in the books, or was that a pivot to adapt to the market the way it currently, has changed as of March?
well, with any good business, you have short and long-term plans, right? And so wouldn't suggest that they weren't in the plans, but maybe push forward a little quicker due to the need to be adaptive and creative and think outside the box with the virus, right? So indoor golf simulator tournaments is something new that we're launching. First one's supposed to start December 12th. 4 pre-qualifying tournaments with the grand finale on April 10th.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's limited to 40 golfers. We'll have sponsorship opportunities, and the top 3 lowest scores advance to the grand finale on April 10th. And so we've partnered with some pretty wonderful people that believe in giving back. Indian Wood Country Club is one of our major sponsors. We have Lakewood Shores Resort is donating for a first place grand prize winner, a weekend getaway for 2 at their facility. So some people are very interested in trying to promote the business, give back. A portion of the proceeds from each of these events is being donated to local nonprofit charities here in Michigan.
Yeah. Talk to me about golf protocols. I golfed more this summer than I have in the last 15 years. I love golf. I used to be a huge golfer, and then I got married and I had kids and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And so, and this summer I played a ton of golf, and the rules have changed a bit, but not that much. I shouldn't say the rules. The safety has changed a bit. Not that much. I mean, because you're outside and this and the other. How is golf how is COVID gonna change golf next summer?
Well, hopefully it's gone, but all indications are that this is something we may have to contend with. So, I mean, obviously, you said you played a lot of golf. A lot of golf courses put the glass clear divider in the golf carts, right? I think when it initially started, they had 1 golfer per golf cart. Fortunate enough, the game of golf kind of promotes social distancing in itself, just by the pure nature of how you hit the ball. One guy might be on the right side of the fairway, one lady might be on the left-hand side. So I think that helps. From that perspective, I think in terms of registration, as Ed mentioned, we put social distancing markers just to kind of reemphasize people that got to be cognizant of our surroundings and make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I just want to talk about the sport of golf, right? So some may say that over the last, I would say, decade, that golf has been declining. Younger generations seem to not be as golfing as much. The number of golfers have fallen from 30 to 20 million, give or take, over the course of the last decade. And so, I know golf has been trying to reinvent itself with, frisbee golf and making the putting holes bigger and things of that nature. So what's the future of golf? And when you're planning a golf outing, how do you incorporate it? I mean, is it always going to be a traditional old school golf outing, or will it evolve to bring in different generations who have different feels for golf?
I'm a golf traditionalist. So for me, I don't want to see any alterations to the game, but they are talking about doing some of the things that you had mentioned and more. From an outing perspective, I think what makes outings more forgiving to the average golfer is most of them are shotgun in their scramble format, best ball. So, you're alternating shots, so you get the best of 4 shots. So you could take a golfer that doesn't necessarily play well or as often as, say, somebody else, put them on the same team and kind of puts them on level playing field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think handicapping scores is a fantastic opportunity to kind of level the playing field and create parity.
Yeah. Yeah, I love golf outings are fun. And I'm curious to see what happens with golf in the future, though, because I do think it's even this summer when I golfed in a lot of different courses. A lot of them were empty. I was surprised how empty some of them were at certain kind of key times, but we'll see. But even more of a reason, I think, for somebody or a company or an organization to hire an expert who can bring the energy, the messaging, and just the audience and the sponsors to a golf outing. So if somebody is sitting there thinking, I want to do a golf outing, but I don't really want to spend the money, how can somebody do it? What is the investment for a typical golf outing?
So sponsorship is critical, right? Because having a sponsor brings in the revenue that helps you do some of the things you need to do. Golf courses require deposits. So if you're looking at having an event, say next September, now's the time to be reaching out to a golf course that fits within your event net revenue goal, which is a budgeted thing. It becomes the blueprint really for the outing. Yeah. That's the driving force. Okay, so how many golfers do you anticipate? What's the projected cost for the golfers? Are we competitive with some of the other outings, right? You'll play in an outing that's $100, you'll play in an outing that's $500. So you have to really define your targeted audience, your targeted location, and kind of build out from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how have you as a company pivoted since COVID? How have you, I work with a lot of companies who have kind of revamped their 3-year plan and are looking at their business completely differently than they did. It's almost like, 2019 might as well be 1950, right? It's like, there's no looking back. It's only moving forward at the ripple effects. How have you adjusted, adapted, and pivoted?
I can tell you, and I say this smiling, within the first 5 months of the season, we had to redo our projected revenue forecast 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a direct correlation to.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely.
In addition, we've pushed forward some of, as I said, the indoor golf simulator tournaments. We're launching, in fact, this December is another one of those things, golf course staffing solutions. So one of the things that we witnessed over the past few years is golf courses are struggling to find good people to work at their facilities in a wide range of services. So we've been working with several golf courses over the past year and proud to announce launching of a staffing solution for them.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I mean, it's, I love hearing how you talked about kind of having to revamp it 3 times, because I think that's kind of, I think that people are going to be saying that a lot this year and next year as we just kind of figure things out. And then once things get back to normal, even the ripple effects of what we're going through now, how it will change, and just how innovation has ramped up and accelerated, and just the whole remote element of everything. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch.
Golf in itself, you're at the mercy of the weather, right? And so being in Michigan, you might have 6.5 months worth of revenue generating opportunities. And now you put in some of those other contributing factors that have an impact on your ability to make money. It's a challenge, there's no question about it. And if a business hasn't kind of reinvented itself this year, got flexible, adaptive, creative, they had some challenges for sure.
Yeah. I'm just curious, when you were, pivoting and kind of re-examining 3 different times, how did you know, like, what were some of the signs that you looked at that you knew you had to pivot again and update again and revamp again?
So obviously, as a business owner, you look at your monthly expenses, right? As it pertains to revenue against expenses. So you look at it and say, okay, let's reforecast. Oh, this particular client wants to reschedule for next year. So how does that impact the bottom line? We launched this new initiative and it cost X amount of dollars to market that new initiative. How does that impact the budget? And so those are the things that we've had to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's smart. I think a lot of times, people are not paying attention to stuff like that. And I think it's always been important, but more so now, the ability to forecast and project, 3 months, 6 months out. So I think some companies struggle just to even do it more than a year out right now, as they're just trying to stay afloat. So I appreciate that insight that you brought that up.
I was just going to say, I think most people, the biggest surprise I think our clients have is the business side of putting on a golf outing. Really, I think that's one of the things that I think catches them off guard. I know you need golfers and you need sponsors, you need a golf course, and you want to have this meal and you want to have this, but what does it look like in terms of a business model? How do you generate your profit? And having a matrix that shows them all of that and trending towards a targeted goal. So we need 100 golfers. Okay, we're 2 months out. We have 60 golfers. So now you got to re-emphasize your marketing campaign to attract additional golfers. Same thing with sponsorship. It's really kind of, I love it, but I think that's a challenge for some that say, hey, I want to have an outing. There's so much more than just saying having an outing.
Well, I love what you're talking about, because that was going to be my next question, which is, how do you pick the list of who you actually invite to a golf outing, right? So if you're going to invest and you know how much a client is worth and you know the lifetime value of a client, then you can back into how much you'll actually spend on a golf outing, really entertain people. And these are, retention of clients, upselling current clients, new prospects, getting them involved to build that relationship capital in an environment that you can't really, do across from a table or even a Zoom. And so when companies are looking at that, I'm going to shut my door in a second. But when companies are looking at, the value of a client and getting the right people there, how are you consulting with them on that?
A lot of the things we mentioned, geographic location's important, right? So obviously that'll make a targeted audience that much more specific, right? With regards to the event revenue goal, which will determine what you charge for your title sponsor, what you charge for your beverage sponsor. So all of those things are contributing factors to planning and strategizing, right?
One of the things I see, whether it's a golf outing, a seminar, a conference, is a lot of times people don't spend the right time really coming up with the right list. The people, the list, the prospecting, the invitation, the picking up the phone. And then they have these big events, and then the follow-up is poor, right? So they don't follow up, whether it's a golf outing, it doesn't matter what it is, but what's the follow-up? Because that's where the magic a lot of time is made. And so just last question before we move into the speed round, how do you advise your clients to, not only look at the event itself and the pre-event and the event, but the post-event?
So we do immediate post-event surveys, and then usually the end of the year thank you kind of letter, and we ask for feedback, right? Even internally with our own team, we'll do our kind of opportunities for improvement. And it doesn't matter how many events we've had, I can honestly tell you we're our own worst critics. We'll have a list of at least 30 or 40 items. And the targeted goal there is to keep building bigger, better, stronger, giving your clients a better service, right? So one other thing I wanted to just kind of touch on, because I think it goes a long way. When we have a client, right, and they hire us to do an outing, one of the things we ask the client to do is provide us with a list of their contacts, their golfers, because it's so much easier to sell an event when you make a solicitation call on behalf of a client and say, so-and-so's asked us to put on an outing. Would you be interested in this particular location? It's this cost. That helps sell as well.
Yeah, that's great. Good. I love that. All right, you ready for the speed round, Tony?
Sure.
What's one thing a business owner needs to do to finish 2020 strong?
Continue to, be creative, adaptive, and think outside the box. I mean, obviously, last night's announcement is putting some struggles and challenges, even with our indoor golf simulator tournaments, right?
Yeah. No, that's important stuff. Favorite book and why?
The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, and I don't know, it just captured the early renaissance of our country, really. Yeah.
The best piece of wisdom you would give somebody graduating college today?
Work hard. It sounds simplistic, but nothing in life is easy, right?
No.
I work 7 days a week.
Right. No, me too. One sales piece of advice you would give somebody when it comes to selling their services?
Honor and integrity.
Yeah.
Because if you don't believe in what you're selling, I think it shows, right?
Yeah, 100%. Tony, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and all your contact information.
So progolfplanners.com. If you want to learn more about our indoor golf simulator tournament, it's progolfplanners.com/indoor golf. Toll-free number is 855-711-PGPA or 7472.
All right, great. And your ideal clients are?
Oh, that's a good question. I think every client, right? Because we've worked with all ranges of spectrums, whether they're small Ma and Pa nonprofit or a national. We've been working with and blessed to be working with a national nonprofit the past 3 years, and out of Washington, D.C., and they're sending out a team for the first time next year to participate.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show, and maybe next summer we'll have you back again talking a little bit more about golf. But I think golf outings are a great investment. You got a targeted group of people. You can build great relationship capital, build emotional connections with people on the golf course. It's a great place to not only network, but to really just relax, social distance, and get to know people. And it's a great way. And for companies, my 2 cents is, understand what a client is worth and what the lifetime value of a client is, and then back into what a golf outing investment is. And if you can get 1 or 2, 3 lifetime clients from a great golf outing, they pay for themselves 10 times over. So I appreciate you being on the show. Last question, which I meant to ask you and I forgot. How far in advance should people actually plan a golf outing?
Well, depending on the course, right? So 4 to 6 months is the norm, but we work with golf courses that book a year in advance.
Yeah.
And some golf courses, you have to be flexible with your date. So we tell our clients, when you go into those discussions, usually we'll negotiate on behalf of our clients. Give us 2 or 3 dates, because it's very rare that you'll find the date of your choice that hasn't already been chosen at a specific golf course year after year after year.
Yeah. All right, Tony, that was great. I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks for sharing your golf wisdom with everybody. Think community, thanks. If Tony can help you, your nonprofit, your organization, your company, please reach out to him. Tony, thanks, man, for being on the show. I appreciate you taking time, and stay safe and stay healthy for you and your family.
You as well. Thank you. I enjoyed it. Yep.